pull up the receipts because we predicted this one absolutely perfectly. Spain defeat Argentina 1-0 after extra time, courtesy of a Ferran Torres volley in the 106th minute off of a Nico Williams header. Amazing shot, by the way, very difficult. And Spain do it. They're crowned the best team in the world, and I think very deservedly so. Now, I could spend probably 20 minutes diving into the details of the game about how Spain were able to just immediately take control, take advantage of the better players that they have out wide with Cucurella, Pedro Porro, Lamine Yamal, and just absolutely dominate possession with their stronger midfielders, better game plan. The fact that they were able to hold just pretty much all chances. They limited Argentina to, I think, one touch in the box throughout regular time. They didn't have a shot on target, I don't think, until uh, until after Spain scored that goal. But you all watched the game. You guys saw how utterly dominated this Argentinian side was. So I just want to get into a couple of things instead. First of which is the Enzo Fernandez red card. Was it a red card? Yes. I actually was incredibly impressed by the referee today. I thought I saw pretty looked like no bias to me. He was calling, the fouls are fouls, but while still letting go a lot of pushes and shoves that occurred from both sides, mostly Argentina. But that's just the way that they play. They're always going to be the more physical, aggressive team in shoving like that. But with Enzo Fernandez, uh, you know, the first yellow card, it is deserved. It's a little bit harsh. It's deserved. The second one, absolutely. When you look at the way that Kubarsi just goes flying, um, the amount of force that's in that challenge, although it may not look absolutely awful on slow motion camera, it is certainly a yellow card. Now, there might be a little bit more controversy. And actually, I don't know why they seem to not show this in any of the replays, but the Argentinian players were saying that Cucurella covered his mouth in a confrontation with, I think it was Messi. Um, and that, as you guys know, by the new FIFA rules for this World Cup, is an automatic sending off. It was happened once earlier in the tournament. I don't remember who it was off the top of my head right now. Um, and it was interesting that they seemed to just skip over that. Now, I don't really think that there's any narrative or any bias towards Spain in this game. I assume what happened is they looked at it and deemed that Cucurella maybe wasn't pushing towards Messi. Maybe both players were covering mouths at certain points, and they didn't want to make the game about that. Um, so overall, with the way that the referee refed the rest of the game, I think I'm just going to have to place my trust in the fact that whatever happened there, they hopefully got it right. Maybe we'll see something in the coming days, some video footage of something, and there will be controversy, and we'll see all this on Twitter and Instagram and whatnot. Um, but who knows? For now, I think the referee did a great job. Enzo Fernandez, I think, was a bit silly, a bit reckless in his decisions there, and did deserve that sending off. Another focal point that I wanted to speak on uh, is just how absolutely insane the depth and talent and persona that this Spanish midfield has. Uh, Rodri is playing this game like he's prime Ballon d'Or Rodri. He like never got injured. He's absolutely dictating the tempo of this game, controlling everything, making good line breaking passes, just doing absolutely everything for Spain. Looking like the guy who was just puppeteering the strings of this offense. Uh, and then to see, you know, Pedri, the player who has been touted by Barcelona fans as the best midfielder in the world for the past 2 to 3 years come off the bench for Champions League winner Fabian Ruiz. I mean, it's just insane. And the way that all of these players are able to control the ball so well, they're able to control the game. I mean, against every team. We saw it against France, which was arguably more impressive than doing it against Argentina. But the way that they were, able to absolutely dominate Argentina, even more so than they did against France, is just especially impressive. Um, Now, I also think that I believe I mentioned this a little bit in the past video, but this game for me just really highlighted the fact that Argentina has really fallen off from what their team was in the last World Cup. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was, the magic that Di Maria was able to work in some of those later games, or if it was, these players have just gotten older, or, fallen off of their peak form a little bit. But without Messi, Argentina might not even be a top five. I mean, they might even be a top 10 team in the world. Um, I don't think it's outrageous to say that they might not have gotten past Cape Verde. They almost certainly wouldn't have gotten past Switzerland, and there was just zero chance that they would have beat England without the astounding player that Messi is. Um, just another highlight. I know I've talked about this, but to be doing what he did at 39 years old, we've never seen anything like it, I don't think. Um, and to those people who are going to be putting the blame on Messi after this game, ask, did you watch the game? Because he just was fed absolutely nothing all game. Zero chances. Whenever he had the ball, there were three or four Spanish players just immediately pressing. And in the late stages of the game, when Spain was maybe forced to sit back a little more, he looked like the only person who was able to create any sort of Argentinian chance off of a cross or through ball or whatnot. Um, so I just think without Messi, this team, what are they? I don't know how they're going to do in the future. Does Messi retire? I mean, it kind of looks like he could continue playing. If he maybe works out his little retirement at Inter Milan, or not Inter Milan. What am I saying? At Inter Miami. Sorry. And he does a sort of thing where he maybe doesn't play that many games in the year leading up to the next Copa America, then doesn't many play that many games leading up to the World Cup. If he can keep his body healthy, he's kind of shown that the way that his composure has grown over the years, the way that his intellect, his decision making, his technical ability has really stayed the same, even if he doesn't have the pace that he once did. He can still be the man, not just for Argentina, but in world football. Um, and that is just, it's beyond impressive to be able to do this at his age. I mean, what did we see? Cristiano Ronaldo turning 39 looked like an absolute onk out there. Um, pardon the young language, unks and whatnot. But it's just not something that you see, even with like LeBron James, who's probably the other athlete that you think of when you have this amazing longevity. LeBron James is great at 39 and now 41, but he was not the best player in the world. He was probably not even the top five. He was maybe sitting around that 10 range. Um, and so Messi, just wow. And I mean, I know people look at Lamine Yamal as the person who's maybe going to carry that torch. We talked about the amazing situation that happened with Messi bathing Lamine Yamal when he was younger, um, and now they're facing off in this World Cup final. But I just think to compare yourself to Messi is to compare yourself to an alien. Like it's not even sensical. Um, Lamine Yamal, I thought, played very well. I was actually more impressed with the way that Nico Williams played when he came on, and it wasn't even that Nico Williams showed like individual brilliance when he came on. I think we sort of saw more of what made this Spanish team look like, by far the best team in the world, although maybe Argentina too, in the 2024 Euros. And that was just the way that, they had your two flashy wingers, Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal, pair with, the rest of the players in the Spanish team. I saw some amazing like 1-2s with ugh, Nico Williams and Ferran Torres throughout that sort of section of the game later when he was subbed on. And it just really looked like to have that second option of not just play it into Lamine Yamal, but to have the flair on the left side with Nico Williams as well, who's able to, cut inside, cut back, cross the ball, make good runs in behind. Uh, Really just adds another layer of depth that this another layer of options that this Argentinian team, the Spanish team, uh, can go to. We're getting to the point of that video where I'm just starting to spew some stuff, but I really think it's just incredible how this team looks when they have Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal paired with that just incredible midfield. Not to even talk about the defense. Uh, Now we're really getting on a tangent, but one goal conceded, one goal conceded all World Cup. I'll let you guys sit with that for a moment. Charles the Ketelaere, know that for your trivia in 5 years when they ask who was the one player that scored on Spain in the 2026 World Cup. It was Charles de Ketelaere. Um, but that defense is just incredible. It's the team as a whole. De La Fuente as manager, just everything about this screams just best team in the world. And I mean, I don't necessarily think that when you compare this to the top World Cup teams of history, it's too amazing. I think they sit probably at or maybe just above average. Um, but when you're talking about the best of the best, the fact that they're even there in consideration shows you how incredible this team is. One more, quick last shout out to Kubarsi spearheading the Spanish defense at 19 years old. I think that gets overshadowed sometimes just because of how mature he plays. And Unai Simon, again, just hasn't put a foot wrong all tournament, has he? Nothing more that you can ask for from your keeper. And so, as we get to the end of this and look at really what we're seeing from the end of this game. Uh, First of all, credit to myself for correctly predicting Spain to win this 1-0 in this tight game. I don't remember if I said extra time or not. Um, Probably may have mentioned that it would be a possibility, but not a certainty. But just what a game. Always be grateful that we're able to watch such amazing displays of talent. And so, if you guys are still here and you enjoyed the video, you appreciated the prediction abilities that I displayed, that's a joke. Obviously, you shoot 10 shots, you hit one. That was a good prediction, but you never know. Um, Please consider subscribing, and we will see you all in the next one. Peace. Real quick, so I forgot to talk about it. Credit once again to Ferran Torres on that finish. That is just so difficult to keep that in below the bar. We saw, I think it was Simeone with kind of a similar one where he skied it, which really just emphasizes how incredibly difficult it is to keep a shot like that under the bar, and not only under the bar, but in that sort of top third of the goal where a goalkeeper when he's diving isn't going to be able to reach. Um, is just incredibly difficult. Also, credit to Nico Williams because how many players are going to look at that, look behind them, see that they have a player right there, and be able to head the ball when they're running forwards, backwards into the feet of Ferran Torres for him to finish that. Just an amazing goal. Really, caps off a dominant Spanish performance. And with that, I will see you guys later.